I want to talk to you for a few moments about rhythm and how we've learned how to speak it. Usually, when we speak in music class, we use rhythm syllables like ta, ti, to, ta, tiri, tiri, even different things like that. However, in the larger world outside of a classroom, most musicians aren't using syllables like these, especially when they're working together with other people. They're actually using numbers. They count rhythms. So we're going to get used to counting rhythms a little bit at a time. And I'm going to use syncopation to help us. So let's look at a first example. Okay. Looking at the time signature, we see that we have the 4 on top of the 4, also known as common time, where we would count to the number 4 over and over because we're grouping 4 beats together. So in this part of the example, I want you to notice how the 4 beats are arranged. I'm going to start actually at the end of the measure to help demonstrate. Beat 4 is here next to the double bar, and it's a quarter note. 1 sound, 1 beat. Beat 3 is also a quarter note. 1 sound, 1 beat. That leaves us 2 beats left in the measure that we have to account for. And when I look at this pattern, I know that it has to go on the first 2 beats because there's nowhere else for it to fit. Beat 1 starts with syncopation. Notice we have those single T's that are split apart by a quarter note. So when I see this pattern, syncopa, in this measure, it's going over beats 1 and 2. I'm going to count this measure, and I'm going to ask you to snap the rhythm. And as you snap, you're going to use alternating hands because that will make it the easiest for us to perform. And I'm going to do it 4 times in a row. If you can snap and count it with me once you're comfortable, please do join me. Here I go. Syncopa, 3, 4. Syncopa, 3, 4. Syncopa, 3, 4. Syncopa, 3, 4. So that's the first pattern we're looking at. The second one is here. So let me do the easiest thing, which this is just the way I like to do it. Maybe you could figure out a different way, but I think it's really the easiest thing to figure out where my steady beats are lined up with the rhythm that I see, which is what I did last time. And I started at the end of the measure with beat 4. Like last time, beat 4 here is a quarter note, 1 sound, 1 beat. Now here in the middle, I see that it's not quite as clear what's happening. So now I can jump to the beginning where I see that 1 sound, 1 beat in a quarter note on beat 1. That means that beats 2 and 3 are covered by my syncopated pattern. So I'm going to count this one, and let's see, would you clap this rhythm? And once you're comfortable with it, you want to join me speaking and counting it, that would be awesome. Okay, here I go 4 times. One, 2, and 4. 1, 2, and 4. 1, 2, and 4. 1, 2, and 4. That's my second pattern. I got one more. And it's here. This time I'm looking at the first half of the example. And I'm going to do my first step, which is to see where my rhythm lines up with the steady beat. So I see a quarter note, my steady beat on beat 1, another quarter note on beat 2. That means my syncopated pattern is falling on beats 3 and 4. So I'm going to count this rhythm. I'm going to ask you to pat it while I do so. And if you're comfortable, go ahead and join me. Here I go right now. 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, three, and 1, 2, 3, and. So that's how that works. Do you think you can count the rhythm for an activity that we're about to do? I bet you can. We're going to use the syncopated patterns to count through an ostinato that we do to an activity called falling leaves. It's not the same as the one I did before, which was autumn leaves, but you will hear those same words again. Okay, the first thing is to learn how it goes. I'm going to ask you to just speak it after me. Here I go. Yellow, red, and brown, gently falling down. Autumn leaves come floating slowly to the ground. Nice. I'm going to do a longer part. Please do the longer part back to Miss Smith. Here I go. Yellow, red, and brown, gently falling down. Autumn leaves come floating slowly to the ground. Now I'm going to try the whole thing. See if you can speak the whole thing back to me. Here I go. Yellow, red, and brown, gently falling down. Autumn leaves are floating slowly to the ground. Okay, I'm going to teach you the melody for it. If you are at home, I invite you to sing along with me as we learn the melody. But if you're at school, I'm going to just recommend that you speak it while we sing. Okay, here I go. Yellow, red, and brown, gently falling down. Autumn leaves come floating slowly to the ground. Okay, I'm going to do that one more time. Here I go. Yellow, red, and brown, gently falling down. Autumn leaves come floating slowly to the ground. Let's add some movement. How about yellow, red, and brown, gently falling down. Autumn leaves come floating slowly to the ground. And take your body to the ground as the words of the rhyme go there, okay? So let's try it. I'm gonna add the motions and I'm gonna sing it. Here I go. Yellow, red, and brown, gently falling down. Autumn leaves come floating slowly to the ground. Okay, now here's what we're gonna do. Let's add our patterns with our syncopas. The first one we're gonna do is syncopa 3, 4. You're gonna clap that one. Syncopa 3, 4. Syncopa 3, 4. We'll do that 4 times after we sing the melody. And then we will do our next pattern, 1, syncopa 4. We're gonna clap that pattern. 1, syncopa 4. We'll do it 4 times. Then we're gonna sing the melody again. And we'll do our last pattern. 1, 2, syncopa, 4 times. Then guess what? We're gonna turn it into a palindrome. So remember, a palindrome is when you have a pattern that goes the same way forwards as it does when you read it backwards, okay? So we're gonna turn around and do this rhythm again. We'll sing the melody. Then we'll do this rhythm again. We'll sing the melody. And then we'll do this rhythm again. And then we'll be done. Okay. Are you ready? First thing we're gonna do is sing and move. Here we go. Yellow, red, and brown, gently falling down. Autumn leaves come floating slowly to the ground. Syncopa 3, 4. Syncopa 3, 4. Syncopa 3, 4. cinco, pa, 3, 4. Yellow, red, and brown, gently falling down. Autumn leaves come floating slowly to the ground. 1, cinco, pa, 4. 1, cinco, pa, 4. 1, cinco, pa, 4. 1, cinco, pa, 4. Yellow, red, and brown, gently falling down. Autumn leaves come floating slowly to the ground. 1, 2, cinco, pa, 1, 2, cinco, pa, 1, 2, cinco, pa, 1, 2, cinco, pa. Yellow, red, and brown, gently falling down. Autumn leaves come floating slowly to the ground. 1, 2, cinco, pa, 1, 2, cinco, pa, 1, 2, cinco, pa, 1, 2, cinco, pa. Yellow, red, and brown, gently falling down. Autumn leaves come floating slowly to the ground. 1, cinco, pa, 4. 1, cinco, pa, 4. 1, cinco, pa, 4. 1, cinco, pa, 4. Yellow, red, and brown, gently falling down. Autumn leaves come floating slowly to the ground. Cinco, pa, 3, 4. Cinco, pa, 3, 4. Cinco, pa, 3, 4. Cinco, pa, 3, 4. I'm sorry I blew it, you guys. Were you ready for that? I thought I was ready, but I wasn't ready for that last pattern to go back to finish our palindrome. But anyway, hopefully you feel a little bit more comfortable with the idea of counting rhythms. You're getting used to putting syncopa in different parts of your body, and you can be sure that we're going to learn more about how to count the rhythms that you already see all the time in the coming weeks. Hope you're doing great, guys.